Well, what do we have here? Wrestling. Quite possibly the manliest thing in the world. 36 years old, still love my wrestling, always will. We're going to rank these. The categories are as follow. Don't know, because I'm sure there's some fucking people in here, I have no clue who they are. We have Jobbers and Jabronis, Sunday Night Heat, Thunder, SmackDown, Nitro, Monday Night Jericho, and the GOATs. Let's start here. Alright, Yokozuna. Well, you know, I did big things about Yokozuna. I'm gonna put him under the SmackDown. He was I think a 2-time champ. Could be wrong. Lex Luger fucking body slammed him on the USS Enterprise or whatever the hell that ship's called. Next we have Chris Jericho. Well, let's be honest here. Chris Jericho is probably one of the greatest of all times. However, we're gonna put him in the second tier. Who is this? This appears to be Sean Waltman, aka Six, aka X-Pac. Never a big fan of Sean Waltman. Other than that porno he did with China once. I mean, that was, whatevs. Waltman's going in the Sunday Night Heat category here. Next up we have, I have no idea who this is. And if people in the chat know who he is, don't blast me too much, but nonetheless, don't know. Next we have the Ultimate Warrior. This fucker would be gassed before he'd get to the ring, shaking the rings like a fucking madman. We will put Ultimate Warrior just above Yokozuna, below Jericho. I mean, he did. If anyone's ever seen his Halloween Havoc match with The Undertaker, with Hulk Hogan, you'll know why. Quite possibly the worst fucking match in history. Vinnie Mac. Well, quite possibly the greatest heel of all time. Vinnie Mac's up there in the GOATs. Next up, we got Big Van Vader. Well, for a big man, he could move. However, I'm never a big fan of Vader. He will go in with Sean Waltman here in the Sunday Night Heat category. Tommy Dreamer. Well, Tommy Dreamer, I don't know if you guys remember, but at one point, Tommy Dreamer was eating and drinking all types of disgusting shit on Raw, like containers full of chew and drinking the spit. Just for that alone, Tommy Dreamer. You know what? Dreamer's a jabroni. Jabroni. All right. Next up, we got, looks like Terry Funk. The man who, went and saw Mankind in the ring after he got fucking thrown over and thrown through the Hell in a Cell. Terry Funk, you will go in with we'll put him in with SmackDown here. Nah, you know what? Fuck that, Thunder. Never a fan of Tommy Dreamer. Next up, we have the $1 Million Man. Everybody's got a price. You know what? I always liked Ted DiBiase, so we'll put him there with Yoko in the SmackDown category. Taz, third best commentator on fucking AEW and the FTW Championship. Was a fan of Taz during the ECW days, but other than that, I mean, the human suplex machine. Well, how about I suplex your ass down to the Sunday Night Heat category? All right, well, Asuka, probably one of the best women's wrestlers other than Charlotte. You know what? We're going to put Asuka up there with the Ultimate Warrior. Big fan of her. Taker. Well, if you're not putting Taker in the GOAT category, you've made some mistakes. You know what? Well, I honestly, I got to move up Jericho. Jericho's one of the greatest all times, too. That would have slapped in the face putting him in fucking Monday Night Raw. All right, Sting. Nice. I don't know. I'm just spitting random things now. I guess Sting there. Some people might consider him the greatest of all time. Some might not. Next up, we got Cowboy Bob Orton. Randy Orton's father. At least I think it is. Although he looks a little fucking cross-eyed here. Looks like Steve Buscemi. Cowboy Bob Orton. You know what? He had a big career, but you know what? We'll put him down there with Terry Funk, I guess. Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Once killed a man. Snuka. I was never a big Snuka fan, although he was on TV a lot whenever I was a kid. We're gonna put Jimmy Fly Snuka in the Sunday Night Heat category here. This looks like Sid Vicious. If you've ever seen him break his leg on TV, it's pretty fucking disgusting. It's enough to make you want to throw up your Nestle Quick. Never a fan of Sid Vicious. Had like 2 moves. He's pretty much a Goldberg or a Kevin Nash. You know what? He's gonna go in the fucking jobber category. Despite him being like a 3 or 2-time champ. Shelton Benjamin. Fucking jobber. Alright, Sheamus. Well, never a big fan of Sheamus, I'll be honest with you. I mean, other than when he was with Cesaro and he was doing his the bar. Saw my eyes went cross there while I did that. You know, we're going to put Sheamus here with the SmackDown next to Ted DiBiase and Yoko Titties. Shane O'Mac. All right, Shane O'Mac. You know, you got to give this fucker credit, man. The shit this guy does, jumping off Titantrons and jumping off the Hell in a Cell and jumping across the ring, kicking Vince with the trash can. You know what, we're going to put Shane O'Mac right down here with Sheamus, I think. Next up, we got this fucking guy. This looks like potentially Shane Douglas. Nonetheless, you're a fucking jobber. Jabber. All right, Sergeant Slaughter. And that's an order. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll put him there with Thunder, I guess. Next up, we got Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins will go up here with Sting. I've always been a big fan of Seth Rollins, and I truly believe he's one of the best in the business right now. So next up, we got Big Papa Pump is your hookup. Holla if you hear me. The man whose titties now look like Kofi Kingston's titties. Scott Steiner. Steiner wasn't bad, but he wasn't great on the fucking mic either. Oh, we'll put Scott Steiner here. Scott Steiner. Next up, we got the Macho Man. Macho Man's going up there. One of the greats of all time. There's just no comparison. Next up, we got the Sandman, who would most of the time be drunk before he got to the fucking ring, and was not a very good wrestler. For that sake, we're gonna put him in there with the Jobbers and Jabronis. Samoa Joe. Alright, Samoa. Where do you go, Samoa? You know what, Samoa Joe, we'll put him in the Thunder category here. Sami Zayn. Alright, Sami Zayn. Where does Sami Zayn go here? I like Sami Zayn. I'll put Sami Zayn. I'm putting Sami Zayn here. Is this like a younger Iron Sheik? Nonetheless, I have no idea who this is. And who's this? Is this like a young AJ Styles or something? Oh no, AJ Styles is already in there. Okay, well, this fucking guy, I don't know him either. Let's just get through that first. Let's move the guys we have no idea who they are. No idea who the fuck this clown is. Who else? Jesus Christ, some of these photos, like, how fucking far are they gonna put these photos? Christ, they're looking through a microscope. I don't know if that's Funaki or what, but I'm probably gonna take heat for this considering some of these guys. I have no idea who this guy is. Or this guy. This guy looks like the Great Khali, but an Asian version. Look at the fucking chin on him. Okay. Now that we got most of the fucking don't knows, let's get back to it here. Next up, we got RVD. If you're not fucking with RVD, I don't know what's wrong with your life, but I'm putting RVD up there. 100%. And we got Ravishing Rick Rude. Great physique. Great tights, by the way, back in the days. Airbrush tights were unreal. Rick Rude. You know what, Rick Rude? I'm putting him up here with the Warrior. I was always a big Rick Rude fan. Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode, you know what? Bobby Roode's done absolutely pretty much nothing since WWE took him on. I mean, like, they always turn everybody into a fucking jobber. You know what? Bobby Roode's good, especially with Ziggler. We'll move him up there. Next up, we got Farouk, one half of the APA, the Ass Protection Agency. You know, we're going to put him down here with Samoa Joe. The only thing he was cool is that he was drinking all the time. Oh, and then we got Roman Reigns. Boy, when it rains, it boos. Despite his accomplishments, you know what? We'll put Roman Reigns here. Roddy Piper. All right, Roddy Piper. If you're not fucking with Roddy Piper, I don't know what's wrong with your life, but Roddy Piper 100% deserves to be in the third tier on the Nitro team. Then you got The Rock. Well, if you're not considering the walk, holy fuck. I'm ranking wrestling and all of a sudden I'm thinking about cooking. The Rock is one of the GOATs. And we got Ricochet. He's kind of a bum. He's kind of a jobber. Let's be honest. He's a fucking jobber. Then you got Ricky Steamboat. If anyone has not seen WrestleMania 3, Steamboat versus Macho Man Randy Savage, please go do so. Do yourself a favor and go watch that match. One of the greatest of all time. Right there. Let's put him right there. Next up, you got the Nature Boy. Well, Nature Boy is one of the greatest of all times. And you got Rey Mysterio. You know what, Rey Mysterio, he's okay. But he's not... I don't think he's Nitro quality. And you know what? Yes, he is. That's just wrong for me to say that. Next up, we're going to do William Regal. That guy was kind of a jobber, but now that you think about it, he's had a big impact in the wrestling. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's a trainer. Nonetheless, let's put William Regal here. Next up, we got Razor, the Drunk Ramon. Scott Hall, hey yo. I always like Scott Hall. So I'm going to put Scott Hall up here right beside RVD on the Monday Night Raw team. Next up, you got Flying Brian Pillman. Gone way too soon. Way too soon. Very talented wrestler. Put him up here right beside Rey Mysterio. Mr. Perfect. The greatest wrestler to never win the WWE Championship. Put him right there. So you got Paul Orndorff. Mr. Wonderful. Put him down here. Neville. Also the Bastard Pac on AEW. You know, I say, yeah, he can do some fancy moves around the ring. However, he's kind of a bum. He's kind of a bum. Let's move him down here with the other bums. Although he's less of a bum than the other bums down here. Owen Hart. One of the greatest Canadian wrestlers of all time. You know what? Owen Hart deserves to be... It's too bad he didn't wrestle longer because you know what? He'd probably be on the Monday Night Raw team. But for now, we're just going to move him down here beside Flying Brian Pillman. Randy Orton. Well, you know what? Randy Orton is one of the greatest of all time. 14-time champion. Probably going to win the Royal Rumble. Do nothing with it. Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega. I like Kenny Omega. However, he hasn't done enough yet to, you know, tickle my fancy. So, you know what? We'll put him on the SmackDown team for now. Who the fuck is this? This is Billy Gunn? Who is that? I have no idea. You know what? This guy is on the Don't Know Kevin Nash. Well, now you want to talk about somebody who he's in the Hall of Fame 3 or 4 times. Why? He's got as many moves as Stephen Hawkins does on the fucking dance floor. Never been a big fan of Kevin Nash. Never been a big fan of him. However, I was a fan of the NWO Wolfpack, and for that means something. You're on the Thunder team. Shinsuke Nakamura, the king of Stronghold. Well, before Shinsuke, there was fucking Funaki and Taka Michinoku. I like Shinsuke, although Vince McMahon's treating him like a jabroni. Although I do think his WWF... I gotta quit saying that. His WWE push is coming soon. Therefore, I do think that, you know what, I'm going to move him up here. MVP. The fuck down here, you jobber. Dean Ambrose. Never a big fan of Dean Ambrose, I'm not going to lie. Don't like the Jon Moxley character either. For that, you know what, Moxley? We're going to move Moxley down here, right beside Kenny Omega. John Morrison. Well, John Morrison. I've made more fucking errors in this video than Biden has up on the Trump. I'm going to have to start getting medicated like he is to get through a 5-minute speech. John Morrison has a couple flashes in the pen. You know what? You're on the Thunder team. Next up, we got The Miz. I truly believe when it's all said and done, The Miz will be one of the greatest of all time. Look at his list of accomplishments. He's done big things. Therefore, he's on the Monday Night Raw team. Next up, we got this guy. I have no clue who that is, so therefore he goes in the don't know pile. Mick Foley. Some might argue that he might be one of the greatest of all time. However, I do believe he belongs on the second tier. Matt Hardy. Although this might be not Brother Nero, that fucking delete. Alright, where do we put Matt Hardy, the broken one here? You know, like, Matt Hardy, he's never really done anything for me, so you know what, let's just put him there. Mark Henry, Sexual Chocolate. When it's all said and done, I mean, he is in the Hall of Fame, but I do believe he may belong down here. Next up, we got Dean Malenko. Anyone wants good Dean Malenko matches, go back and look at Malenko and Eddie Guerrero back in the ECW days. And you'll see why some of those matches are absolutely incredible. Their last match on ECW will give anybody an erection. Dean Malenko, welcome to SmackDown. Next up, you got Lex Luger. He is a little bit deflated now, come to think about it. Lex Luger is never a big fan of Luger, that stupid torture rack move. However, he does have some accomplishments. But we're going to move him here beside John Morrison. Next up, we got, I think this is Lucian Tiger. I could be wrong, although I don't want to be wrong, so I'm going to move him in the don't know pile. This appears to be Stu Hart. Stu Hart obviously has a soft spot in my heart because, well, for one, he's Canadian and he's got the Hart Dungeon, and the amount of people that came out of Stampede Wrestling now, there's a lot of them that are some of the goats. You know what, Stu Hart? Welcome to Nitro. Next up, we got Lance Storm. Lance Storm was always kind of a jobber, but he definitely did some things. He did some things once. Welcome to the SmackDown team. Kevin Owens. Well, now you're talking about somebody who's got a soft spot in my head. Put Kevin Owens up here. There's no fucking doubt that Kevin Owens does not make the Nitro team. Third tier. Kofi Kingston. Not a big fan of Kofi. Never been. Like Kofi Mania. Okay. But, you know, doesn't really do it for me. However, I do think he's better than the jabronis in the WCW Thunder tier. So let's put Kofi Kingston here. Oh, I recognize this guy. This is the Texas Tornado, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he it was once called the fake Ultimate Warrior. I don't know. In fact, I believed it while I'm looking at Pro Wrestling Insider now to come to think about it. Although he was nothing. He's put him up there with Jimmy Snuka. Next up, you got Kane. Well, you know what, Kane? Early Kane, big fan of early Kane. Put him right beside fucking Stu Hart. Next up, you got cross-eyed Jim Duggan. Hey, old Jimmy Duggan, greatest U.S. champion of all time. You know what? Jim Duggan was kind of a fucking jobber. So, you know what? Let's put him down. Oh, you can't. He's one of the greatest WCW champions of all time. U.S. champions, for that matter. You know what? I'm going to put him under the... you know what? He goes to Thunder. Jim Duggan goes to Thunder. Next up, it looks like you got a picture of Jerry the King Lawler back in his day. Never a big fan of Jerry Lawler. Although on commentary, he's one of the greatest of all time. So, you know what? For that, because he's not really a fan in my book in the wrestling department, he will join the Thunder team. Next up, we got Matt Hardy. Well, Matt Hardy was definitely better than his brother Jeff. I mean, there's just no denying. I believe Jeff Hardy has done some pretty cool things back in the day. Therefore, he will go in the WCW Nitro team. Mostly because of the crazy shit he used to do back in the day. JBL. Fucking number one bully in the background. Alright, JBL. I was never a big JBL fan, therefore JBL will join the Thunder team. Double J Jeff Jarrett. JEFFJARRETT. That's Double J Jeff Jarrett, the world's greatest singer, the world's greatest wrestler, and the world's greatest entertainer. Double J Jeff Jarrett. Where is he gonna stack up here? You know what? Double J, you're going to go down here on Team SmackDown. Next up, we got Jake the Drunk Roberts and his pet snake. I believe his name was Damien. Jake the Snake. I mean, the promos this guy used to cut back in the day without even raising his voice and just speaking monotone. He got his point across so much. And the inventor of the DDT. And for that, he belongs to be on the Nitro team. Deserves to be on the Nitro team. Next up, you got the Iron Sheik. Quite possibly the funniest guy on Twitter. Calls everybody a jabroni. However, he is the Iron Sheik. I mean, he's put him on the Sunday Night Heat. Other than the mustache, he's... All right, now you're talking about Hulk Hogan here. Say your prayers, take your vitamins, say what you want about Hulk Hogan, but he's one of the greatest of all time. You know, he just is. Triple H deserves to be up there too. I think he's one of the greatest all time. Next up, we got Shawn Michaels, Mr. WrestleMania, quite possibly the greatest wrestler of all time, beside maybe... in the list here. Why are my armpits so goddamn sweaty? All I'm making is a tier list. Need a goddamn ShamWow in here. The Great Khali. Well, you know what? The Great Khali, what a fucking jabroni. Punjabi prison match, and can't believe they gave the title to him once. This is, what's his name? I don't think that's Arn Anderson. It might be. but I don't think it is. All right, so next up we got Harley Race. Harley Race, one of the greatest NWA champions of all time. You know what? Harley Race, well before my time. I honestly, I'm going to have to put him down here with WCW Thunder just for that sake. Next up, we got Goldust. Who would have thought back in the day that Goldust could have turned this character into what it is today? For that, you know, Goldust, good wrestler, obviously in the Rhodes family. Welcome to Team SmackDown. Goldust. Almost called him Dusty Rhodes. Goldberg. All right, well, here's where I might upset some people. Goldberg was not good. Goldberg was not good. The stupid streak where he'd fight once every week or twice every week, once on Nitro, once on Thunder, and his record would jump up like 6. They'd be like, oh, he's 25-0. Well, no, he's not. He's only had 3 matches. Quit fucking lying to me, Tony Schiavone. With that being said, I mean, we'll put Goldberg... fuck. Just for the sake that he's like 105 years old and still in great shape, you know what? We'll put him on the Nitro team. I regret doing that. Next up, we got Fit Finlay. Fit Finlay. Fit Finlay, he does a lot for the Performance Center, but you know what? He's on the Heat team. Next up, we got Edge. Well, if you ain't putting Edge up there as one of the greatest of all time, you have smoked yourself retarded. Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero is going to go right here beside Mick Foley on the Monday Night Raw team. Could easily be in the top tier as well. British Bulldog. Davey Boy Smith. Man, taken too far early. We will put Davey Boy Smith under the Nitro team. Next up, we got Dusty Rhodes, baby. Bionic Elbow. Imagine fucking Vince saying, hey, you're one of the greatest of all time. Let's put some fucking pink. Yellow polka dots on you. See what happens. Jesus Christ, I've been doing this long enough. I'm going colorblind. You know what? Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes was always on wrestling back in the day as a child. However, I believe he belongs on the SmackDown team. And I'm sorry, but right there beside his son, Dustin Reynolds. Next up, we got this fucking clown, Drew McIntyre, who I'm not a fan of at all. You know what? He's on the Thunder team. Next up, we got Dolph Ziggler. Well, Dolph Ziggler's on the Nitro team for sure. I think when it's all said and done, you could easily put Dolph Ziggler in the second tier here. To which I'm going to move him up. Second tier. There's no doubt about it. Next up, we got DDP. Hold on a second here. Davey Boy Smith is right here. Is this Chris Benoit? Just for the sake of what he did, although I do think there's more to the story than what he did, but I'm going to put that aside. We're going to put our differences aside. And we're going to put Chris Benoit on the SmackDown team. For the sake of... No, you know what? That's just wrong. He belongs to be up there. Next up, we got DDP, the rookie at 35 years old. We'll put him on the SmackDown team. Davey Boy Smith. Here, I was always a fan of the British Bulldog. I probably had him fucking down here when I thought this was Davey Boy Smith. Although you can't tell me these two pictures don't look the same. Either that or I'm going retarded. This looks like somebody who's on TNA, so I certainly won't fucking know who that is. Next up, we got Daniel Bryan. Oh, Daniel Bryan, get down here on the Nitro team. Colt Cabana. Well, Colt Cabana's kind of a fucking jobber. Let's be honest here. Cody Rhodes, eh? Well, let's line them up right here there. Put the whole fucking family right beside each other on the SmackDown team. Next up, we got CM Punk. I always loved CM Punk. Imagine if he came back, that pop would be louder than a bag of Orville Redenbacher in the microwave. But for that, because of the accomplishments, you know what? I'm putting CM Punk up here because if I'm gonna put the Miz, I gotta put CM Punk. And if I don't, well, I might as well go put my fucking tongue in a blender. Next up, we got Christian. Now, Christian is big spot in my heart for Christian. However, I believe he belongs on Nitro. Next up, this looks like Chavo Guerrero. He's never a big fan of him. However, I'm gonna put him on the Sunday Night Heat team. Next up, it looks like a Wish version of Cesaro. That is Cesaro. That's when he was Antonio Cesaro. And I like Cesaro. For that, I'm going to put him right here on the SmackDown team. So we got John Cena. Well, John Cena sucks for one, but when it's all said and done, John Cena is going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. Oh, I'm going to put him up there. Fuck, I just tongue punches my fart box. King Kong Bundy, another fucking jobber. This looks like Bubba Ray Dudley, also known probably here as something else when he was in TNA with the rest of those jobbers. But for that, he had some great matches with the Dudley Boys. Well, he was actually in the Dudley Boys, so that would be fucking retarded if I said with the Dudley Boys. With Edge and Christian. So you know what? We're gonna put him on the SmackDown team. All right, next up we got Bruno Sammartino, longest WWE Championship reign of all time. However, it was well before my time. I truly believe though he does belong to be in the Nitro team with Stu Hart over here. You know what? Come to think about it, I don't even think this is Stu Hart. I think this is Lou Thesz. This might be Lou Thesz. And if anyone's wondering who the fuck Lou Thesz is, Stone Cold used to do his move, the Lou Thesz press, where he'd kind of jump on you and then start giving you the 1-2 McGregor. I'm pretty sure that's Lou Thesz. I don't think that's Stu Hart, but nonetheless, who gives a shit? Next up, we got Bruiser Brody. Well, you know what? Bruiser Brody, I don't know enough about you, although it's a pretty popular name, but... All right, Brock Lesnar, Suplex City, bitch. You know what? I liked Brock Lesnar in the past, although I'm tired. He always comes back and wins it. He's going to go on the Nitro team. And I'm only doing that for the sake of I look who's up here. And these people have a soft spot in my heart. Lesnar, he does, but one tier lower. Now, next up, you're talking about one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time. Bret Hart, get yourself on the GOATS list. There's no doubt about it. Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Bray Wyatt. WWE could do so much with this guy, and they just choose not to. I like Bray Wyatt, though. So Bray Wyatt, you know what? You're on Team Nitro. Okay, you're on. Using my squeaky voice, I'm so excited. Braun Strowman. Get these hands. Well, you can get these hands on fucking Thunder, you bum, because you do nothing. Booker T. Five-time WCW champion. Booker T. Team Nitro. Bob Backlund. All right, well, Bob Backlund, you know, he's kind of a jobber, but he's done big things in his career. You know what? Come join Team Thunder. Next up, we got Bobby Lashley. Where do you put Lashley? Lashley's one of those, welcome to Team SmackDown. Next up, we got, this looks like Jesse the Body, but I don't think it is. Well, that's superstar Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham, baby. All right, Jimmy Graham. Well, you know what? You're on fucking heat because I just don't like you. Then we got the ass man, Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn deserves to be, I think, on Team SmackDown. The Big Show. Oh, you know, for as long as he's been in the business and for what he still does, I think you have to put the Big Show on Team SmackDown. He doesn't have enough to get in here with these guys. Next up, we got Batista. Never a fan of Batista, I'm not going to lie. SmackDown it is. Bam Bam Bigelow. Quite possibly the first big man to move the way he did. Maybe Vader, probably Vader, but nonetheless, Bam Bam Bigelow once lost to Lawrence Taylor at WrestleMania 10, I believe. And for that, he's going on the Thunder team. Next up, we got Finn Balor. I do like Finn Balor. Therefore, Finn Balor is going to go to the Nitro team. Stone Cold. If you're not putting Stone Cold up here, well, Kevin G.O.D.'s coming to give you a stunner through your monitor. Who is this? Is this Austin Aries? Austin Aries? I have no idea who it is. You know what? Don't know. Arn Anderson, the Enforcer, part of the Four Horsemen. Arn Anderson, where do you go? You really didn't do... Yeah. Arn Anderson, we'll put him down here with the rest of the fucking guys. I got 1 foot in the grave. Andre the Giant, talk about 1 foot in the grave. Do you put Andre up here or do you put him on Nitro? I put him on Nitro. AJ Styles, well, if you're not putting AJ Styles up here, there's something fucking wrong with your equilibrium. Hangman Adam Page. I mean, I guess he's okay. I don't mind him on AEW, but he hasn't done enough yet. So Team SmackDown it is. And then I believe this is Adam Cole, baby, who will also join the SmackDown team. So here it is. Tier list of the greatest of all time. We got Team Raw, Team Nitro, Team SmackDown, which has some questionable people in there who could either go up or down. Then next up, you got Team Thunder. Most of these guys have 1 foot in the grave or were never really good in the ring, hence why they're in here. Sunday Night Heat, just pretty much people I just didn't like. Or I didn't know where to put them. jobbers and jabronis, and then the don't know category. So all in all, I feel good about the GOAT category. I think I've hit on all of them. There's a couple on the Monday Night Raw team that I could easily put up in there, but they don't. Same as Nitro. Nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you don't, well, put the thumbs down. If you do, put the thumbs up. Comment, like, subscribe. Tell me where you think I could have went different. If I don't agree with you, well, I'll probably just powerbomb you. See you next video.